Hello everyone, man, thank you for watching the channel. I just want to show you something else that I've been working on. This is a Kickstarter project. I actually have like this prototype right here. I've been working on it for years, man. I got thousands and thousands of hours built into this project right here. Right here, this is a board game. It's called Timeout, and I made this with my kids, and this helps kids and parents, have a little discussion about making positive choices and decisions in life versus bad ones and why you should do that. So I'll show you, I'm gonna flip the camera around and go from there. All right, here is the box top. It says the name Timeout. This has a little picture of the board game right here. There's a good card and there's a bad card, and I'll show you inside of it. I have changed the description right here to say for ages 3 and up. You could probably start at 2. That's up to you. And it talks about a family game that is fun to learn about kids' choices that they're making when they're like 3 to 8 years old, I'm thinking, you know what I mean? And I'm looking for, child psychologists, teachers, people in child care, parents, anybody that's dealing with children, or maybe you want to look at just getting this for like, a Christmas gift coming up this year, man. Board games are good. You could take time away from all electronics, TV, video games, stuff like that, and have family time to sit down at the table and go from there. So let me go ahead and I'll show you. I'm gonna open this up with like one hand. It's as tight as an iPhone case, you know what I mean? Like, I actually went through a lot of time to get this made. This is a 9.5 by 9.5 by 2 inch box. It has a set of instructions, which it will have a piece of paper. I'll probably have it more of a tougher texture. So basically inside there's a deck of playing cards. There's 90 playing cards, and I'll show you there's good cards and bad cards, or positive cards and negative cards, that have different decisions that kids would make. There are 8 tokens, and 4 of them are based on my daughter, 4 of them are based on my son, things that they've liked in life. I like doing like things that actually like, are for the long term, that will last for a long time. Let me show you, like I'm at my house right now, kind of give you insight about my life, how things work. Over here is a painting this is the first painting that my son Aiden and I did. We actually did it in that garage right there, on the garage, and we took 4 different canvases, and we had some extra acrylic paint that my wife had picked up. She was, cleaning houses and stuff like that. And we actually sat there and we had fun, just making paint, you know what I mean? So like he actually made this painting right here, and we did it together. And there's actually, if you could see it, there's actually like glitter and stuff like in there. So it's pretty cool, man. I keep it up in the house. I have one there, and then, there's another one he did here, and there's one in this master bedroom that he did too. This is a family picture right here of, my wife, him, and my daughter, son, stuff like that. So, I like doing things that last for a long time. Anyway, back to this game. I'm getting a little off topic right here. But, there's 4 of them that I made for my son. So there's a skateboard, a rocket. These were 3D printed. I met a guy, I think his name is Mark, on a Facebook group that people that, are interested in making board games. And I joined the group, and I was like, hey man, I'm making this board game, and I was kind of talking to him like the tokens of how I want to do it. And he had a 3D printer, and he actually made me 2 sets of these. So my brother has 1 set, I have a set. So, like I was saying, there's 4 for my son. There's a truck right here. These are good, high quality. I don't know the thickness of it. I could find out from him, but I figured I wanted something that would last, because kids, they're going to be throwing stuff around and, and stuff like that. There's a teddy bear for my daughter right here. There's a flower. There's a bumblebee and a kitty cat, So there's 8 different tokens. Now I'll show you. I'm going to open up this board game, and we're going to take this board out of here. This is an 18 inch by 18 inch. This is the back of it. It says Timeout is a game that helps kids learn about good choices and bad, and the consequences of those choices in a fun way. Designed for 2 to 6 players and ages probably 3 and up. It's a board game, 8 tokens, and actually 90 playing cards, and that's when I copyrighted it. So you go ahead. This is a quad fold board, and go ahead and open this all the way up here. I'm going to have to do a little bend here because it's, still kind of brand new. So the new board would say Timeout, because at first the game was called Choices, and I changed the name of the game to Timeout. So the new one is called Timeout. So it would be Timeout in black lettering on the side. So one side would have it this way. The other side would have it written this way because it's the way I kind of wanted it done. And I hired a digital artist to do this. I actually spent like 4 or 5 hours kind of coming up with this design. And in my Facebook group, when I was designing this board game, I had other people like helping out on it. And they're like, just hire a digital artist. And she did it in like probably 2 minutes, you know what I mean? Probably with AI or something like that. So anyway, there are 6 different lanes and kids can pick any color they want from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, right? I mean, and basically like my daughter, let's say she wants to use the kitty cat token, she'll pick the red. You start at 0 and it has these motivational sayings from 0. That's your start. 1 says way to go. 2 says stay motivated. 3 is keep dreaming. 4 is set goals. 5 is stay focused. 6 is don't quit. And 7 is you're finished. And let's say my son wants to pick a truck, right? He wants to be purple, today. So basically what I do, there's different ways to kind of play the game, but the simplest way is if you have different age kids, let the youngest one go first. And, they already have, I wouldn't say a disadvantage, but give them give everybody else, give them time to go ahead and learn the game, first. So I'm going to open up this deck, and everything in here is a high gloss finish. That's what I thought it'd be nice for kids to actually use. These cards here, let me take this out. Everything's high gloss here. So let's say I just shuffle them, and my daughter picks the first card just from the top of it. And she gets basically a good positive card. It has a title on there. It says did chores. Probably not the right way of saying it, but simple enough. It's got a green smiley face here. My daughter calls it a happy face. It has a picture of a child doing chores. And now basically every card that's got a green smiley face of it, you could move positive. Okay, so now I'm teaching them how to read because she's looking at it like, what does this card mean? You know what I mean? And I'm helping her read this out. And then she's starting at 0, and this card is equal to 1 space. So she can move to 1 here, and the opposite's to move to 7. Who moves to 7 wins the game, right? And you can play it multiple times. And then, you could have a discussion. Why is it good to do chores? Well, it's good to do chores because 1, you can earn allowance. It keeps it teaches you responsibility as a child. I mean, that's why it's important, because there are responsibilities that people have. All right, so let's say my son pulls a second card. This is a timeout card. It says pull 2 cards and get to choose 1. And in an instance, this card, I was thinking about, well, instead of putting kids in timeout and, giving them a punishment, they could be in timeout on the corner or whatever. My kids haven't really done that. They might go to a room, whatever, but it gives them time to think about, well, should I do something good or should I do something bad, right? So you have that time. So now I'm putting this in the game right here. It says pull 2 cards and choose 1. So he's going to pull 2 cards, right? And the next 2, he gets to pull this card. He gets to pull this card. So now he's pulled a good card, which is, saying your prayers. You say it during the daytime, nighttime, whenever it is. If you don't like this card, you take out a deck. It's not that big a deal. This one says staying up past bedtime. This is not a positive. This is a negative card in my instance. And why is it important not to stay up past the bedtime? Because kids need their sleep. They need 8-10 hours of sleep every day. And it's very important for them to get rest so they're feeling healthy, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything like that. So obviously, if he gets a red one, he doesn't get to move any. This is a 0, space card. You don't get to move any spaces at all. So he would pick said prayers. So he gets to move 1. So he gets to move 1 here. So then my daughter gets to go, getting dirty. Now, every now and then it's good. It's fun to go out and play in muddy puddles and stuff like that. But let's say, about to get to go to church or you're in your school clothes. There's a reason. Now I'm having a conversation. Okay, well, daughter, why is this not maybe a good thing to do, getting dirty? Okay, well, maybe there are, some clothes that we don't want you to get there. We just bought them. We just purchased them. You have clothes that you play in. You have clothes that you have fun in and stuff like that, or whatever, instance it is. So, we kind of talk to him about that. So she doesn't get to move any. She's staying on the 1 space there for her lane. Oh, here's another not good card. This is a negative card saying biting. This kid's actually biting this little girl. Why is it not good? Because it's not good to bite other kids. I mean, you're in their personal space, with everything going on. You got COVID and everything now. You do not need to be biting another kid. So he's staying at 1. So basically just keep playing the game. Oh, okay. This one says don't listen. Well, why is it important to listen? You need to listen to your parents. You know what I mean? So, this one's talking about fighting siblings. So they're not moving. I probably should have shuffled these a little better. So, there's more good cards than bad cards. This one talks about playing with scissors. This one's talking about littering, so I haven't shuffled these. So I'm going to pull this one. So basically, cutting the grass, it talks about why is it good to cut the grass, keeps the lawn maintained, it's giving you responsibility. You can end up, maybe becoming a landscaper, in the future, own your own landscaping company, have a bunch of commercial accounts. So the point is to eventually get to 7. There are some good cards in here that showcase, Merry Christmas, and their birthdays, and their happy birthday, and then they get to move too. I have to find those. They're in here. And then obviously whoever gets to 7 wins it. So this is a game that I came up with, man. I just want to show y'all because basically I just launched the Kickstarter program and I am very, very excited to getting this out into the public. So, if you know anybody, share the link. I have the link down below of this game for the Kickstarter project. You can pledge anything you want. And the main thing, I'm just trying to spread awareness about this. And eventually, I think I'll add on to like an actual character, Clocky, and that'll be in another video. So thank you very much.